Hello Flight 4s. Today I'm going to teach you how to apply a base coat to your boots. The first thing that you're going to need is a kiwi cloth and something to make sure that you're not getting polish all over your floors, and some polish. Kiwi is preferred, but you don't have to. It's whatever works best for you. And a toothbrush, preferably one that you don't use regularly. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is make sure that you wipe off all the dust all over your boots. Okay, so this makes sure that any dust particles have been wiped off or any flaking polish, because if you leave it on, then your polish will crack from underneath and then flake off. Now that they're all clear and you've gotten all the dust off, you have to blacken your welts. Now your welts are this part right here, right where the rubber meets the leather. You'll see that there's stitching. I know you can't really see now, but if you look at your own boots, there's stitching there, and it needs to be blackened with polish. This is where your toothbrush comes in. So you dip some polish onto your toothbrush, not too much, and then you go all the way around the outside of your boot. Only on the rubber, not on the leather. And you're doing this before your base coat in case you do get some on the leather, so you can just work it into your base coat. Now as you can see, I'm not just doing the seam, I'm also doing the platform of the boot here, so that it's all the same uniform color. And then I do the exact same thing to the other boot. And I usually do this every week because especially the welts, when you wear your boots, they get extremely dirty with all of the dust particles getting into the different seams. And plus, it makes your boots look even shinier because it dulls the rubber part. Therefore, the contrast is higher. Okay, so I have now blackened both welts. I then choose whichever boot I want to work on first. Doesn't really matter. You can do both. And rest it up here, and I take my cloth. Now, the important thing about your cloth is that you have no wrinkles where your fingers are. So pick a relatively clean spot. And I got my 2 fingers. I'm going to wrap the cloth around my 2 fingers so you can see here, just like that. There's no wrinkles right here, which is where I'm going to be polishing. Now I take my boot and you see that? Perfect, just like that. And you take a lot of polish, especially if you just have brand new boots. You need to have a lot of polish to build up your base coats because polish shines on polish. Polish doesn't shine on leather. So you're going to go all the way around on, we're going to start with the toe, all the way around, and you can see how it's already starting to get duller. And you're doing it properly. Base coats aren't supposed to be shiny. Shine coats are. Okay. And here, so the toe reaches all the way from the seam here, all the way around to what's called the keyhole here, and then over to this side, that seam right there. Okay, now continue applying polish until it's as dull as possible, and the big thing is that it's a smooth coat all over. You don't use any water with base coats. And for primary base coats, you would leave them, I usually leave them for a day. But as I said, with uniform, there's no wrong way to do them as long as you put effort in. So if you try my way and you find a better way that works out for you, feel free to use it. This is just what's worked best with for me. Okay, now as you can see, we've got a pretty dull coat on. You don't want to put it too thick because then it'll never dry. And if it doesn't dry and you put other coats on top, it'll crack from underneath, just like if it's dust particles underneath. Alright, now it's time to do the other boot. You take a whole lot of polish again, and you take your boot, and polish all the way around, nice big circles right into the keyhole, all the way around to the outer seams, getting all that shine away. This is like the foundations to a building. And good foundations make a good building. No matter what things you put on top, with a poor foundation, you won't go anywhere. It'll just break down. As you can see, I'm not taking too much time. I'm just going around in nice big circles. As long as it's smooth, then you're good. If it's not, then you'll see little ridges and stuff starting to form on your boots. Okay. Now you do the exact same thing for the heel. And then you wait for a day. Just leave them just like that. Alright, Flight 4, make sure that you add base coats as many as you can, especially for the ones that just got brand new boots, which is basically all of you. I expect you to do the same process about twice a week until we start to see your boots starting to get really shiny. Look forward to my next lesson on how to put shine coats on. Alright then, good luck polishing.